6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different language, background. When I teach in English, everybody understand me. It's like I'm like a Buddha now. See, make everybody understand in their own language. So fascinating, huh? Lord Buddha had that perfect quality. It's one of the marks of perfection, speech perfection. When Buddha talk, people understand everybody's their own language. That's what it says. And then people will understand exactly according to their capacity to understand. Whatever they need to understand, beneficial for them to understand, they will understand it completely correctly. This is what it means, perfection of speech quality. And it's been said there are some 60 qualities of speech. Buddha's speech has 60 different qualities. Amazing, huh? Yeah. Perfect Buddha activity, Nirmanakaya Buddha activity. The Sanskrit word is Nirmanakaya. Okay, so Nirmanakaya means perfect incarnation, supreme incarnation, sublime incarnation, sublime form body. That's what Nirmanakaya means. Because you have to distinguish, because there are many kinds of kayas, many form body, many. The word Tibetan word is tulku. Tulku means emanation. Emanation body for the benefit of others. And you can have many different kinds of emanation body. Yeah, and most of the time it's like a human, just like any other ordinary human form. Artist emanation is very popular. Emanation, Bodhisattva emanation as an artist, So, Buddhist expression of artist emanation encompasses all kinds of things, not just like somebody who's like music alone, artists, form artists, sculpture, and so on, to singing and dancing and performance and painting, to a politician-like activities, also called another art form. Artistically teaches people, professors, scientists, mathematicians, like that. And the reason is where there is not absolute possibilities, absolute Dharma, then you have to, Bodhisattvas had to use other skill to still find a way to, kind of wake up people from just not seeing anything, completely ignorant, to seeing something a little different, Sometimes scientists, wonderful scientists do. People are very rigid worldview, completely rigid worldview. And then some brilliant scientists, and then they'll tell you, you see, there's another possibility. So, and then you kind of wake up to another level, like that. So all different kinds. Yeah. From somebody who's very, suffer from a lot of aggression, hatred, all kinds of things, and somebody who didn't really teach true Dharma path practice, but who show a lot of love and compassion, and you learn a lot of compassion because he's really peaceful and happy and so nice and honorable person, and you were like, oh, my, aggression and my anger issue is really no good. I want to be like him, He's so peaceful and nice, like that. Bodhisattvas play all kinds of role. Yeah. Once in a while, you can see somebody. You remember some time ago, I was mentioning John Lennon. John Lennon had these qualities. That's why I said. You remember how he had real. And another story I can tell you, which I saw about, quite some time ago, was he was a African American guy. He's just somebody who works in a post office, mailman, mail delivery guy. Okay, that's his job. It turns out he's a really nice guy. It's really he had a bodhisattva quality. And the proof is, he really was a nice guy and had a lot of compassion. He's always helping people in his community and so much, to a point that his story became a news. That's how I know. Oprah Winfrey also brought him to her show. Actually, it was not the Oprah that I saw. I saw him on a late night show back in the 1990s called Ted Couple. You remember? In the ABC News, late night, Ted Couple. He was very brilliant. I liked Ted Couple very much. He was so calm, so how do you say, so well-mannered and so quite a civilized man, And he was a very decent and well-educated guy. I wouldn't say he was completely brilliant or anything, but he was one of the better journalists. And he had a late-night show, like half-an-hour show, evening, ABC News, okay? And he'd do story and something. And he did one story with this mailman. And he invited, and then in his show, and he did story that there's such a wonderful guy here and so. And then it turns out he's a really nice guy. And just goes around always helping people, kind, and he's kind of like a role model in the neighborhood, community, everything, whatever. And then by the time Ted Couple was interviewing, I remember he was almost like at least about like 60 years old or something. He's not young anymore, And then what made me conclude that he deserved a title of some bodhisattva thing, one of these artist bodhisattva quality, title, is because along the line, I'm like, I was watching that. It's such a nice story, a good story, And then along the line, and then Ted Couple says, well, you've been doing so much for everybody, he says, And then I heard you never take vacation. Why didn't you just, once in a while, just maybe at least one time, take a nice vacation, go and enjoy yourself, something. Ted Couple. And then, what he said? He says, well, I enjoy just, my wife is sick and she's in some kind of, in a bed or something. Okay, there was a photo of that too. And then he said, I have to help take care of my wife. And then he says, well, I take care of my wife and she's in bed. And so I sit next to it and then a chair and I read nice book and then just nice, good book I read. That's a nice vacation for me anyway. And I don't need any ordinary vacations. So I enjoy that very much. And then, you know what? A few things like that he said. Okay, that's one of the things I remember. And I don't remember all the other things, some of the things that he said. But here's I'll put it in today's American word. Here's the kicker. You know what the kicker is? He says, respond to Ted Couple's, why didn't you go and enjoy yourself, have a vacation? He said, after all, this is all illusion, he said. This is the kicker that made me determined this guy understood. You see, Valerie, that fantasy thing, he understood. You see? I mean, be like, you see, there you go. Here's some Bodhisattva activity. An African American guy, a male man, is doing things. And then when asked, enjoy, go take vacation. And I don't need ordinary vacation. I just enjoy sitting in a chair, read one book. I perfectly enjoy that and like that. And then after all, this is all illusion. See? That's the kicker, okay? Buddha Bodhisattva activity is so incredible. That's the ultimate hope. Buddhas and Bodhisattva, Log House and Chimbing, so lost, so lost, so lost. But they never give up. They will always show up somewhere, some way, shape, and form, trying to help,
I was reading, listening to Diamond Sutra yesterday, and Buddha was talking to, I forget the name of the student in the Diamond Sutra, the Bodhisattva.
The main student, Subhutu, yeah.
About illusion, and then conventional reality and ultimate realities. And then he mentioned, he kept reteaching Subhuti throughout the sutra in different ways to help him understand the difference. Now, my question is, just knowing that reality is an illusion is not enough. You have to fully realize it.
That's right. That's right. Understanding illusion, everything is illusion, first step.
Yes.
Most of the time. You see, the reason is because people who don't understand, it's very rigid. This is real. So real. This is where all this enormous hatred, anger, all this jealousy, all this thing come from, because you think it's so real, it's something, something other than yourself, something you don't like, and it's so real, and you have all real tangible reason to get upset and angry and being attached and so on. You see, because it appears like, like that. So just by understanding the theory will help you a lot already. But it will not completely solve the problem. You have correct now theoretical understanding. You see, then then through practice, of course, then you can let it go slowly. Yeah. Key to seeing everything as illusion is, guess what? No self. Understand? Then you understand. Yeah. Yeah. And the correct understanding of no self is egolessness of oneself and phenomena, both. That's complete understanding. Yeah. And we have to stress that because there are spiritual practitioners who have some limitation and they only understand partially. Things like that, you see? Yeah. In our Nyungne text, before we do self-visualization, there's a mantra. Says Subhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Subhava Shuddham. Okay, by the way, for your information, our Nyungne, the prayer text, actual practice starts with lineage prayer. Remember? And you pray to the lineage guru, then refuge, then Bodhicitta. You see? You go your trust, your goal, faith, devotion, is correct source. That's refuge, Your goal meaning refuge, Buddhahood is your goal. Right now, you're not there. So then you trust that. You see? Okay. Your goal, your ultimate refuge. Then Bodhicitta. Otherwise, it's not pure. See? So you have to have a pure heart. So like, I'm doing this. I want to do this for the benefit of help all being. See? Only then whatever you're going to do becomes, cause of pure phenomena. Otherwise, it will not. It will be limited, conditional, mundane, virtuous thing. That's it. Yeah, so that's very important. Then after that, we have a 7-branch prayer. This 7-branch prayer is one, perfect, ingenious way of accumulating merit. 7-branch, you invite Chenrezig, comes in front of you, and then all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, everybody. And at this point, we ought to imagine Chenrezig standing on 1,000-petal lotuses, you see? And to them we offer 7-branch offering prayer, and it will help you increase so much power of virtue. And whatever virtuous thing that exists in the world of samsara, you will be able to enjoy it because you've all the right cause conditions for that. And after that is another higher realm. Okay? And it's Brahma realm and so on. This is form realm and formless realm thing. So, so then after that, what you have is 4 immeasurable. May all beings have happiness in the cause of happiness. May all beings not have suffering in the cause. May all beings have, what's the third line?
Supreme bliss.
Yeah, may all beings have supreme bliss and joy, which is free from suffering. May all beings live in the equanimity. It's called 4 immeasurable. Okay, and anybody who can think like that will be able to go beyond the desire, actually, higher realm. But that's a step thing. Then only after that, correct, then you're going beyond samsara. Okay, beyond samsara. And this is where now self-generation of deity comes in. Try and train ourselves, our mind, the pure phenomena training, And the pure phenomena training starts with mantra to purify everything. And the mantra says, Om Subhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Subhava Shuddha. So what I wanted to explain actually was this mantra thing, relationship to your question on illusion and understanding emptiness. Okay? Om Subhava. Subhava literally means non-inherent existence. Okay? Shuddha, non-inherent existence of self. Okay? Sarva Dharma Subhava Shuddha means non-existence of phenomena, all phenomena, self and phenomena, both. See, that's what I'm trying to explain. Subhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Subhava Shuddha. Yeah. You don't exist inherently, and then this arising phenomena does not exist inherently too. It's some kind of, appearing phenomena. But the main point is, you who's stuck here in samsara, your idea of world is wrong. In other words, that's basically what it is. Now you start to understand, thanks to Buddha's teaching, okay, I need to try to become pure, and then start with Chenrezig, etc., etc.
In the Mahamudra teaching of Karmapa, he says to meditate day and night. He says to meditate day and night.
Day and night, yeah. So he's talking about
non-thought, being in a state of non-thought.
No.
No? I mean, like,
No, not non-thought. Being a state of perfection. Yeah. And see, it's not easy to understand. It's because absolute reality is something else. That's why. Non-thought is just an absence of thought. You could be in a state of mind perfectly without a thought too. Yes. But you could be in a state of mind perfectly with thought as well. That's the thing. Yeah. But this day and night is, at the beginning, not possible. This is basically, Karmapa was talking it comes at the end of the Mahamudra prayer. Once you completely understand, you completely realize, you completely clear understanding of, your nature of mind, Once you have that, then he's saying, then you should persevere diligently, not get distracted from that state of mind day and night. That's what he's saying. See?
Is that beyond transcendent awareness?
Yeah.
Beyond that?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, process is, first develop concentration. Concentration, one pointed. Otherwise, it's very difficult to experience your own. What the Mahasiddha is talking about: sharp, clear, sharp, penetrating awareness, nature of mind, without contriving, without fabrication. It's very almost impossible to recognize that. Unless you already recognize your former life, and then this life is just all of a sudden happen. You have to have a one-pointed concentration. And then when you have such a powerful concentration like that, then that can help you break through eventually. So, Shamatha meditation, resting in peace, meditation and concentration. Mindfulness meditation, whatever you want to use the term. Actually, it's a concentration, developing your concentration, from a few seconds. Average people's mind does not even focus on a particular given object, even for a few seconds. It's gone, like that. So you train. This is where in Mahamudra prayer says, may achieve calm, what was the word? Come up in the Mahamudra prayer also say, ocean of Shamatha, whatever, it says that, you see? So that's what it means.
May the ocean of calm abiding.
Yeah, may the ocean of calm abiding remain steady and unperturbed. That means day and night, 24 hours, like that. Yeah. So initially, you only be able to do it for a few seconds, and if you persevere, you work hard and you focus, you understand the importance of that, ultimately importance of training, then you train, then you improve, then your meditation improves. Then at some point you will be able to meditate without distraction, like that. Then, after a while, then you have to train now, not only sitting meditation, but while your activity, it's called action, post-meditation, subsequent activity, and you have to train in that too. You never get distracted, no matter what you're doing, like that. Then if you develop, ability like that, then that ability can eventually help you. Even when you go to sleep, your body go to sleep, but your mind never wavers. Your mind can still, mind does not got lost all of a sudden during 12 hours, 8 hours, like that. Then 24/7. Yeah, and when you have concentration like that, then if you train in like Mahamudra meditation, you become completely enlightened being. Yeah. Somebody's raising hand. Okay.
Yesterday I asked about dullness during meditation. You suggest
Dullness.
dullness, sleepiness.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any remedies for that?
Yeah, I think there are many things you can do. Yeah, of course. There are, I think probably, this dullness can be caused by many different things. If it's natural dullness, some just people are, naturally very dull, then Buddhist scripture says that you have to learn Abhidharma teaching, things like that, because it will explain all kinds of wonderful things, and then it will make your mind a little sharper and understanding, and like that, Theory of philosophy like emptiness, depending arisingness, and so on, is supposed to help your, dull part of mind to understand better. That's general thing. Then there's a specific thing, and the specific thing is like, sometimes people, it's caused even by malnourishment, vitamin deficiency, lack of energy, all those kind of things are called not good, right? So then I think you have to probably change that. Yeah. And then one of the things is that, part of the thing is also not enough motivation. How important Dharma is. Then you're like, oh, I don't feel some, because you didn't understand how urgent it is, It's been said, you have to see it like almost like fire burning your hair. You have no chance to say, oh, I am. No, you have to just do, You have to have those kind of understanding too, Yeah. And then other thing you can do is, if you like that, some immediate technique wise, some breathing technique will help. If you breathe in and out, hold breath, and then it could push you up, and then your mind becomes clear like that. And then during meditation, if you get like this, and if you look at your eye position, eye gaze up in the space, that will help you. Also, yeah. Things like that. There are a lot of things you can do, yeah. And then also, in the Buddhist scripture, we also mention, like, if you have too much thick clothing and all kinds of things, then wear lighter clothing. And then vice versa. On the contrary, if your mind is too agitated, too much thought, too much thing going on, do the opposite, and things like that, Okay.
Just one question. When we are having dullness in unity on the silent day, can it also be a sign of like releasing some emotion, like pride, for example?
Say that again.
If you're having dullness on fasting day,
Dullness, fasting day.
could it be a sign of releasing like an emotion, like pride or something? Could it be considered like a karmic purification?
Yeah, it could be, all kinds. There's all kinds of things. That's why, if your mind is free from afflicting emotions, it would be completely, you wouldn't have these issues. Yeah, definitely, all kinds of things. It could be from pride. It could be from all hosts of emotions. that we still have to deal with, you know? Yeah. Okay, we have to start now, okay?